Time for some personal rejuvenation? Visit Aquarius Salon's award-winning stylists and get ready for summer. They do color, cuts, and highlights for your everyday wear, as well as services for proms, weddings, or any special events you have scheduled. Visit Aquarius on the northeast corner of Bell and 51st. Call 602-978-1774 for your appointment. Again, that's 602-978-1774 on the northeast corner of Bell and 51st. And tell them Philip from Chopped Green sent you. My arms are still open.
Mine aren't.
They are. I'm trying to force them open here, but it's not.
No.
He's a rather strong man.
Clenching my fists.
Clenching is for certain the word I would use. All right. It is Give Me Five, the part of the show where I've got 5 questions for you, Luke, and you got 5 questions for me. We do not know what they are, but we will answer them honestly. Would you care to go first, Luke?
I absolutely would.
Fantastic. Go ahead.
So, as we roll around to the end of this college semester, a lot of ASU alumni out there now, having just graduated recently in the past couple of days. It got me thinking, who would you want as your mentor?
Dead or alive, or just...
Yeah, dead or alive, any way you want it. You know, a lot of college people, as they leave, they're looking for that mentor in their field, and they kind of want somebody to help guide them. And who would you want to
as
be
much
that
as I would
person?
as much as I would like to say somebody in the ilk of Steve Jobs or something, I heard that he's a real jerk. So
I was going to use a different word.
Yeah,
Don't have to beat out jerk.
He's an apple. He's a real apple. But no, let's go with somebody in my field. I like that idea. I would stick with Colin Cowherd.
Okay, that's a good. I would go Ernie Johnson, but I think Colin's a good
Ernie
one.
Johnson, just a great man.
He is.
And a part of that TNT after the NBA special crew, top rated. You want to go with Charles Barkley?
No, I would not go with Charles. I like Charles. I just
not terrible.
Not much of a mentor.
Just terrible, man. All right. On Wednesday, Snap Inc. I won't do it all the way. All right. On Wednesday, Snap Inc., otherwise known as Snapchat, announced a massive loss and a continued slowdown in user growth, while revenue fell well below Wall Street's expectations in its first earnings report as a public company. Snapchat reported 166 million daily active users in the latest quarter, an increase of just 36% from a year earlier. Growth in Snapchat's user base began to slow down last year after Facebook's Instagram copied Snapchat's quote-unquote stories feature, which lets users post short video clips that disappear after 24 hours. Not to miss out on the trend, Facebook also launched disappearing stories this year. Luke, this is all to say, my question to you is, how the heck does Snapchat even make money? I mean, I rarely see ads, and if I was a substantial company, I wouldn't advertise with them because it's so easy to skip past those ads that I do see rarely. I don't think it's a good advertising scheme. How do they make money?
I dropped out of business after a year, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. If I had to guess, they make money because people buy their stock. That's why they went public.
Yeah, I just don't. I think with everybody hopping on the bandwagon and now seeing after its first quarter, a public quarter, and how it's really dipped, I just don't know how they make money. I mean, it's a great product. I think everybody's kind of aware of it. It's got a great brand, but I don't know how you profit off of just a strict great brand and app.
I don't know, fam. I don't know.
All right, your second question.
Okay. So, recently, there's been a lot of talk, and I want to say it was the NBA, but of a lot of professional sports teams adopting esports teams as part of their franchise.
Yes, I'd imagine the Dallas Mavericks' Mark Cuban would probably be on
probably
board.
Be one of
that
the
sounds
ones.
in
I want to say there were like 18 teams that were saying that they were interested in it.
Probably.
So my question to you is: do you consider esports a sport?
No. As much as I would like to, I think the most I can give it is an event. I have a very volatile definition of a sport. I think it needs to fit within 3 requirements. It needs to have a ball of some kind. It needs to have a scoring system to where there can be deemed a winner, and you also need to be doing an action that incurs sweating, not just sweating organically. Thus, through all three of those, I also say golf is not a sport.
Well, it is, so you're wrong.
Hate me all you want. It's not a sport.
It is. If you look up the definition of sport,
it should not be there.
They list
any sport that you can eat a full-grown flame roasted chicken while taking participation within the sport. I don't think you should be able to eat while playing. So that's just my personal opinion.
So baseball?
Yeah. I don't think
a sport.
No, it is, but it's very loose. I don't think that. I mean, I think it's unfair that you should be out there.
Sounds like you're being subjective.
I didn't say that eating was not part of there. I mean, Mark Sanchez ate a hot dog on the sideline for one of the New York Jets games, but I still think that kind of,
for the most part, I agree.
It's applicable. All right. United Airlines offered a free flight to Carter Wilkerson, excuse me. This is the man whose tweet asking for free nuggets for life from Wendy's in return for 18 million retweets resulted in the single most retweeted tweet of all time. That took a lot of time to write, by the way. Retweeted tweet of all time. People took it as an opportunity to remind the airline of its recent PR disasters with responses of, "Can't wait to see you get dragged out of the plane with a bag full of #nugs. And since it's a free ticket, you better not wear leggings on this United flight." Luke, when, if ever, will United rebrand itself, and will people ever forgive United for their recent PR snafus?
No. We are living in a generation where you do not forget it. It will be on the internet forever. You are done, United. You will continue to exist if you want to. Your best bet is to just sell your company to someone else and just move on, because you will never live down these incidences.
Well, my question is, well, for one, the doctor who they dragged off the plane, of course, which is the Kickstarter moment of where everybody really jumped on board, forgive the pun, on board to get to hate on them. He settled, and I'm sure it was a handsome sum of money. But beyond that, if they have a cheaper ticket than everywhere else that's going, does all this discourage you from going there? I mean, what discourages me is like those luggage fees that everybody puts on, like 50, like all of a sudden you're just paying $50 for having luggage, just natural luggage, and it just unbelievably pisses me off.
I mean, I think it'll depend on just how cheap they're willing to go.
Oh.
If they're willing to go cheap enough. They are seen
as an upper tier flying experience.
They're going to have to drop down to mid or low tier prices. So other than that, I mean, obviously, like I said, they'll never fully go away. They're just too massive. But their stocks will never fully recover.
I think it'll always be associated with dragging a man off a plane.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Luke.
Okay, so I know that we're a little biased because we have made a playoff wager, but with how many blowouts and how many just flat out bad games there have been in this NBA playoffs, do you care about them at all? Especially with everyone just assuming it will be Cleveland and Golden State?
Well, I care because, with you being knocked out of the playoff bet that we have, it still matters to me in that sense. So, just to say that for clarification purposes. But outside of that, actually, I'll say it like this. I'm not interested in the Golden State Warriors series games. The only one I'll be interested in is finally this one between Golden State against the Spurs or the Rockets, whoever makes it out of there, because I'll see if in that first game whether or not they're actually worth anything.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Spurs are up 19.5.
That is insane. That is insane. And this is for those of you scoring at home, this is game 6. We're recording live during it. So whoever makes it out of there, I'll watch that to see if they have a shot at it. I don't know that it'll be worth it. But going into Cleveland, I think that's a little bit more interesting. It's more of an interesting sweep because they're more competitive games. Even in, let's say, the first series against Indiana, I believe it was against in Game 1, Miles Turner had a game-winning shot that he just missed.
CJ
Miles, excuse me. And then I think even in Game 3, the same situation happened. Paul George just airballed a game last winning shot. So they're interesting blowouts. Overall, you see a sweep and it just gets knocked out. I mean, even when we think back in time against the Los Angeles Lakers when they sweeped all their way up to the Allen Iverson finals, and then they lost a game, you just remember them going 13-0 until finally they lost. You don't remember the teams that they beat in order to get there. I do think I'm certainly interested in the Boston Celtics Wizards series. Even though I know whichever team's coming out of there loses, I still enjoy a good 7-game series just for the sake of seeing stars play against stars, seeing Isaiah Thomas go one-on-one against John Wall, and seeing how in game 2 Isaiah Thomas drops 53 points, never been done. I think there's just a lot of merit you can find within playoffs, even though they're bad blowout wins. So there you go, my 2 cents. So I have a question for you. I need you to settle a debate. Me and my girlfriend.
She's right.
Oh, well, absolutely, of course. So she texts me. She doesn't text me. She texts me.
Oh my God.
Yes. Now
never mind.
It all
so
clicked.
Wrong.
Okay, so that's what I want to ask you. So what happens is my girlfriend will text me 3 messages, and all of a sudden I'll look down and I'll have beep, 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 and it's my girlfriend. And to be fair, it's misspelled or anything. It's just 3 different messages of 3 different thought processes of, hi, I want nuggets, I just tripped and fell. Like, it's just like 3 different ideas, but instead of putting it as one singular message, which I do, I will type out paragraphs if I need to and send it in one and cringe if I have to send a follow-up. She has no problem buzzing your phone. She will send, oh my goodness, I hate you, goodbye, like in each a different message.
No, I can't handle that.
So that was going to be my question.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Are you a texter
Ruby?
or a text?
I'm sorry, Ruby. I'm text.
You're a texter.
I don't when I get 5 messages when they could have all been into one. My dad does the same thing.
I wonder if that's a guy versus girl thing.
No, my dad does it.
Oh, okay. So then it is a person thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Your turn.
Okay. Who do you consider the most successful sport franchise right now?
Ooh.
Right now. Not of all time. But as of this moment.
Right, because otherwise if you're saying all time, it would probably be like the Lakers or Celtics.
Yeah.
But right now...
Is it New England? Is it San Antonio?
Those really are the only 2 I can think of.
Is it...
It's probably, it's got to be New England. The ability that they have, what is it now? 7 appearances, 5 Super Bowl wins within Brady's career. That's just... And continuous playoff appearances. You got to go there, because as much as I respect Popovich and all them for all they do, he's only had 1 title within the past 10 years, and making it in the playoffs in the NBA is not the same as making it in the playoffs for even the MLB, for the Major League Baseball, or for NFL. It's completely watered down. So I don't give you credit for making the playoffs in the NBA. You have to get past the first round for me. So I will say the Patriots. All right. Luke, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says he's giving serious thought to changing careers. The lovable action star, also the highest paid male actor, opened up in a recent GQ interview where he discusses his possible political aspirations and why, even through he was asked by both camps, he passed on endorsing either candidate in the 2016 presidential election. Last year, the Washington Post published an op-ed stating Johnson could be a force to be reckoned with if he decided to enter the political arena. Since then, Johnson told GQ's Katie Weaver he has given the notion some deep thought, and when asked if he will run, he replied, quote, "I think that it's a real possibility." She noted the response was solemn. So, Luke, if The Rock ran,
yes.
would he rock your vote?
Yes.
Or do you even think he would run for president?
I would commit voter fraud for The Rock.
Oh my gosh!
If I
so
had
it's not just women oogling over him.
Oh my god!
You have like a major man crush.
Have you not seen him?
Oh my gosh! You have a major man crush.
Yes.
I will say he does make you want to run through a brick wall.
Yes.
And nobody says how I don't even know if I can't say it, but his catchphrase of He says some female dog. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
You better get that some female dog. I really have to allude here. I can't really say it, but you know where I'm going.
I think that he would vote. I think not vote, but I think he would run, especially after the whole Donald Trump fiasco.
Say what you will about Donald Trump, but I mean he's really opened
the door for so many other people.
Yes, I think even Mark Cuban's entertaining the notion.
And I'd vote for The Rock.
I think a lot of people would too, and from what I read, because I wanted to take this really seriously, he is ambiguous, so I don't think he's necessarily in one camp.
He's independent.
Yeah, very, very, very alone on his political thoughts, which can be good in this realm. I think being that much of a brand and personality, you can do it. So, your turn.
Okay, my final question is: Wednesday night, we had not one, but two Game 7s in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes, we did.
And this comes after several great series.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a very long-held standard in the sports world that there's just really nothing quite like playoff hockey. So my question to you, why is hockey not more popular in America? As someone myself who doesn't necessarily enjoy watching hockey,
right?
I don't get it. Why is hockey so underappreciated in our country?
I'll tell you why. Because I could not name you the other series that went to a Game 7. The only one I know of is the Washington Nationals.
Other one, no.
And Pittsburgh Penguins.
Close. Washington Capitals.
Capitals. There we go. I knew it was Washington. I'm thinking of the baseball team. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
The other one was Edmonton Oilers and Anaheim Ducks.
Oh, yeah, the Ducks. Did the Ducks win?
I actually don't remember.
Okay, well, there you go.
Okay,
I will say, even more so than baseball, hockey is a much more local sport. And even within there, it's a subset of a sports population. It's more exclusive than baseball. At least baseball, you can join on the bandwagon. Hockey, you are a ride or die fan, and even then you're kind of not open towards letting other people. And really, where other sports have modernized, and it's kind of become a problem of the sport plays better on television than it does in person, I will say hockey is a phenomenal product in person. If you go see a hockey game in person, it is 10 times better than it is on TV. It translates horribly to TV. But in person, that environment, without cheerleaders and without everything else, it still somehow remains to be my favorite sporting event outside of maybe playoff. You know, a regular season game of hockey is way more entertaining than any other regular season games of any other national sport. So,
okay. Should I have one more question?
I should have one more question, but you know what? I didn't do... Okay, so let's do this. Michael Jordan apparently once threw out Bow Wow Iverson sneakers because they weren't Jumpman. Yeah. So Michael Jordan, the roof is the ceiling, just threw out another person's sneakers, even though he was very closely associated to sneakers. My question to you, Luke, have you ever bought sneakers because of somebody's brand power behind them? Have you ever bought Jordan sneakers, Steph sneakers, so on and so forth?
No.
I've
wanted to buy Kobe's, but they're just kind of too expensive.
That's the thing, is I think it's a very exclusive club. Like, you are either a sneakerhead or you are not, because those things are so expensive. They price you out of even just casually buying them.
Yeah. That's I have friends who buy them because they play basketball in high school and they needed them. But, as somebody who didn't play basketball, as somebody who just, especially as someone who wears, I have 2 pairs of shoes.
Right.
I have work shoes that are slip resistant, and I have my regular old Nikes that I wear everywhere else. So that's literally it. That's all I have. And I have a pair of dress shoes, and that's it.
I was gonna say, you gotta have a pair. I do
have a pair of dress shoes.
Do you have a pair of sandals?
Maybe.
I do have a pair of sandals. I'm in your camp of less is more. Every other woman I know in the world has 20 shoes, and that's on the low end. But I'm with you. I do only have like 4 pairs, but one's like dress shoes, one's regular wear, one's flip flops, and another's I think active wear. Mm-hmm. So like Nike. So. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I've never been a sneakerhead. No. It never really appealed to me either, and they're so expensive
I'll say I could never afford it.
They're so expensive.
Have the choice for it to.
I'd almost feel guilty wearing them.
Yeah.
I mean, at least a watch, even though it's expensive, it has some utility, and you can put it through a little bit of a grind. But all right, so there we go. That's Gimme 5. Next week we'll be back at some point during the week. We'll probably be on the conference finals for NBA, so maybe that's something we'll talk about. We might even go deeper into the NFL, going through division winners and who's making it into the playoffs. We'll just have to see. Out of question, who do you think, Celtics or Wizards? Celtics took a 3-2 game lead.
Celtics, but there'll be a Game 7.
Okay. So it'll end in Boston with Boston winning. Mm-hmm. All right. I've got to say, I think the Wizards will win, but I really... That's insane. That's going to be a good series.
I pick Wizard in my bracket.
But you know what's funny, though, is that I think if Boston makes it and faces Cleveland, that's a sweep, as opposed to the Wizards making it. I think that they can at least get a game. Isn't that weird how that works? It's a paper, rock, scissors matchup. All right. Otherwise, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time on Chopped Greens.